now about to witness the awesome, crushing might of the Eugene S. Robinson show. Stomper, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Welcome, my friends, to a show that apparently never ever ends. This is V.352 of the Eugene S. Robinson Show. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. Let's let Bob Riley sing us in like he has every single week since 2007. Our numbers are not huge, but they go deep. Listen well. It's intro all of nothing. Off of the Big Mata CD calling it just. Still available. Revelation Records in Huntington Beach, California, where they shoot you to death in the nightclub, hit your car with a hammer, and run your May approach them out of town on the rail to open up a substandard restaurant in Central Florida. When you just don't need me to tell you that. Listen to Bob, sing it, Bob. Mr. N says, like, sing it, listen well. Get up on the chair. Lean your head in.
I'm on my way back nowhere.
But I could not see so clear, but I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face.
I'm on my way back to damn bar.
So be it payback is for always nothing. Okay, my friend. Thank you. Wife said she'd be here at 3:15. She's not here at 3:15. So we start the show with the kid, like it or not. Going to have to burn, this is how you learn. Teachable moments. Life is not roses and candy. So I'm back, and I'm super, I got to share this. There's no point in sharing. This is like showing you my new Star Wars, the Star Wars helmet or something like that. But look at it. Oh, hold on. There we go. It's not that it's a new Buñuel record. Is that it's a cassette of the new Buñuel record. That's what it is. This was such a major part of my life. 8-track tapes, not so much. I'm old enough, but I didn't have any music on 8-track tapes because you got to realize to have 8-track tapes, you had to have an 8-track tape player. And those were like if you could believe that in the day. So anyway, this is Happiness Galore. And yeah, exactly right. It makes you stronger and not weaker. So this is a 352 of the show, and let's get you here. This week it was a flash in the pan. I got back Tuesday at 3:50, and at Tuesday at 3:50, what happened is I'm going through immigration to get back on the plane. Yeah, you keep saying it's a Memorex. I don't know. You tell me. I'm responding live to the comments. Is it recorded? I don't know. So I'm elbowing people out of the way off the airplane because I know flying back at this country, that long is I don't give a crap length line getting back in where you got to go through immigration to get back at this country, I know the tape. I know, but I'm not taping it. I guess I am. I guess this is recording of it. So I'm rushing by everybody, and I'm rushing by people. It's not fair. It's a form of profiling, but I'm rushing my way past people who I perceive to be immigration problems. Like old people. Yeah. Oh, be on the plane. Oh, forget it. Terrified. So old couples, I'm rushing by. People with babies and kids, I'm rushing by. I don't care. I don't want to stand on this line and cry and get. I'm rushing by pretty much anybody who so I get to the line, and it's still a long line. And yeah, I'm chair speakers. Yeah, you're right. So I'm online and it's tedious. And they have signs up there about you're not supposed to have your phone on. But, I know how they work. Do you remember the Wells Fargo thing? If you got to wait more than 8 minutes, we give you $50. And they stopped that fast because it was cheaper for them to buy TVs and put TVs in the waiting room so that you could step up there and not be cranky. And it worked. The TVs worked. But, then they start people naturally because of people are jerks like they are like, well, why have to watch Fox? Why do I have to watch CNN with these lies? So then they got rid of the TVs because they saw and noticed that everybody was on their phone. Wasn't their phone like little dummy robots, and they didn't care about how long they had to wait. So that's the thing. They stopped complaining about how the wait time and you get up to the thing. So I get up to the line finally. And this is like, and it's, as a man who's traveled with contraband, so I get up to the line, and if you don't have contraband, largely your attitude is whatever. I don't have to be nice to anybody. You're not going to get through. So I get up the front, and they do this thing to take the pictures and the nice lady. Usually, I feel better with ladies and people of color. I'm sorry, it's just what it is. Then and even older dudes, But if you're an Anglo male in between 20 and 40, I don't trust you. I know there's going to be some hang up. I just said Latinos. So, I insisted on Airbus. But then, of course, I started thinking that that was there. Yeah, man. Yeah, Enterprise. Yeah. So anyway, I hate to say so, but it's an Anglo woman. She's nice enough. And she says, she starts talking, 21 years. It's not a half. So she says, hey, global entry. And I said, yeah. I made the appointment for that. I paid the fee. And, but I missed the appointment. They don't give you any reminders. They just say, yeah, your appointment is in February 27th, 20th. So I missed it. And she goes, no, you did it. You said, what do you mean I didn't? She's like, you didn't miss it at all. In fact, you 2 days under. I go, oh, 2 days under. She goes, yeah, you could do it right now. I said, hey, I know your dirty airport tricks. These are rage factories. I go, what do I have to do it now? She goes, yeah, you know what you have to do? You got to follow this yellow line. Follow this yellow line all the way down to the end. And I'm looking at the yellow line. It's like the yellow brick road. I'm looking down the line. I don't see, it doesn't look crowded down there, but it's like Lucy and Charlie Brown, the football. I know there's a trick. I walk down, and there's one woman sitting there, and she goes, yeah, it's me you want to see. And I'm like, all right. And they said, fill out the clipboard, like it's like a restaurant, like a maitre d'. And I see the clipboard's got all kinds of names scratched in it. And I write my name on it, and I say to her, is there much of a wait? And she does she must have been Jamaican, West Indian. She did a perfect, it's what I would have done. It's like a Robinson family trait. She looked at me. She turned to the galley of empty seats, 40 empty seats, and just looked back at me. And I was like, okay, I get it, but there are a lot of names here. They could have gone to the bathroom. They could be back in the gray room. She goes, no, you're next. I said, all right. No, she didn't do that. So I get up there and they say, this is your global entry interview. Everything you say, essentially, give you like, this is serious business. Global entry, for those of you who don't know, is like TSA pre. I've decided to make the system work for me. Like, if you try to do it like a normal dummy, this is like that when I was hanging out with those porn guys in Vegas, and like we never waited on any line, and he kept leaning over to the door guy. I go, how do you know all these guys? He looks at me like you're an idiot. He goes, $20 is all. That's worth my time to not have to stand on line. I go, oh, that really works? I was a bouncer that never worked. He goes, did you work the front? I was like, yeah. I did work the front, so I started beating guys up, and they're like, this guy's a liability on the front. Put me in the back. So yeah, apparently global entry, it's like TSA pre on steroids. You're not waiting on line. They get you the front. You don't have to take your shoes off, your belt off, your jewelry off, your computer out. You don't get screamed at, whatever. And now they're trying to stop it in San Francisco because they go, it's a ploy, right? If you have the money to pay, you don't have to suffer. But how come an average person has to suffer? You know what? I don't care about the average person. I'm gonna pay the money, $100, whatever it is. I fly enough. It's an issue for me. So she's asking me the questions, and then it gets to the tricky part. Have you ever been arrested? I was like, Now, this is like one of those things where if the person is looking at the screen when they're answering, it's not about this is a stupidity test. Because, her response could be, you think I'm cruising looking at my Facebook page? I'm not. I'm looking at your stuff. So I go, yes, I have been. For what? Well, I told false information to a police officer, which if you're trying to do an interview where you're supposed to be truthful, is kind of dicey. So I give a derivation of the story, which is fundamentally, I told the cop that my name was Abraham Lincoln. She's an African-American, so she just looked at me. I guess they weren't playing that day. I go, no, they were not. They were not playing that day. So she goes, okay. Ask me a few more questions. And then another thing. Have you ever been denied entry to any country? Now, if you've listened to this show long enough, that's affirmative. But, and even I know I'm on the block because of the first two. Right? And she's still looking at the screen. So I know that she knows, right? Well, I suspect that she knows. Yes, of course. And I go, all right. It's like we're dealing with. If you're asked a direct question, you answer a direct question. She goes, have you ever been denied entry to any country? Yes. What country was that? Canada. What was the reason? I don't know. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't understand what the reason. I go, she gets clever. She goes, what did they say the reason was? I go, they didn't formally say. And I don't know that they had to. They apparently didn't like the answers to their questions about my presence in Canada. She goes, huh? What were you doing in Canada? Oh. And then I yield to Tricky Dicky and I go, well, I'm a musician. Which that never came up at all. And she goes, oh, I go, that's why I travel so much. I'm just trying to take the conversation and move it all over here. Yeah. See, that's the kind of that. They're not like the cut of my jib. That's the kind of stuff that got us pulled out of line in the first place. So I was like, oh, musician. Yeah, but she's a dog. She goes behind. She goes, yeah, but what did they? And I go, they didn't like my answers to their questions about why we're coming. And keep in mind, I got into Canada and I've been back several times since then. But the guy I was traveling with was a little bit of a knucklehead who had a bit of a drug problem that I had not correctly assessed prior to leaving with him. So he got pulled in. I was waiting for him outside. They said, hey, do you know this guy? I go, yes, all of which is truthful. And they said, could you come with us too? And that's what, bing, bang, boom, there you go. It's like Joe Pesci telling the story about being arrested in Goodfellas. Bing, bang, boom, there we go. So she pauses, she writes it down and goes, okay, your interview has been successfully concluded. I am granting you global entry status. You'll get a card in 10 to 14 days. I was like, hot diggity dog, because TSA pre doesn't work when you get outside of America. So then you're on the line with the rest of the dummies. Now you flash this card, and then she gives me provisos. And she said provisos. And somehow, after she listed all these provisos, we ended up talking about tangerines. She goes, you get tangerines in this country. You put a tangerine in your suitcase and you forget there's a tangerine. Now I understood tangerine was just an example of something bigger, and you forget to mention that you have a tangerine. We'll yank this card and fine you. Money, $800. Hey, you got to declare. Over 10,000. I said, over 10,000? I said, what about 9,500? She looks at me like, you didn't have to ask that. That's the look. That's a look that she gave me. You didn't have to ask that. Try to play. And then I remembered something that somebody at the bank had told me, because I asked them the same thing. And they go, we can report you anytime we want to the feds if we believe that your banking patterns deviate from your standard banking patterns. Yeah, but you didn't know that, did you? Your banks mean nothing to your bank unless you're not be clear on this. If you've ever had a tax seizure, you discover fast and hard, you mean nothing to those banks. It's not a sacred trust unless you go to the Cayman Islands, and not even Switzerland anymore. There's something standing between. That's why people love crypto and Bitcoin. It's between you and some nameless, pimply-faced 15-year-old who lives in Serbo, Croatia. I don't know. Right, exactly. If all of a sudden you put in 1,200, but then you start putting in 6,000, 6,000, people get a little paranoid. Speaking of which, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. I hate PayPal, but if you got to donate to the show, these are ways to go. You know what? I'll probably stop bugging you about this. I'm going to stop bugging y'all about this when how much I pay June, which is $440 a month, a little over $100 a week, is something that collectively that we're all paying for, right? Now, I don't know that I need June, but I love what she does with the graphics. I love how she presents the show. I love that she gets it up on multiple formats, and I love June, for reasons spoken and unspoken. Does a great job and hasn't tried to murder me. All good things. So fundamentally, that's what we're paying for. And keep in mind, I'm paying June, whether you pay me or not, but it'd be nice to get paid back for it. I also sold, if you follow me on Instagram, Mr. Sleep, #3 on Instagram, I finally sold that stinking vest. There was an auction for it. I haven't, hey, the person who ordered it is from Houston, Texas, $100. That's the end of the show. I got nothing surprising, nothing I've left out. The weave is complete. Thanks for listening. Click the thumbs up. Everybody says click the thumbs up. So you sign up for the show so it automatically notifies you that the thing is coming, or the thing. Yeah, until next week, you know what they say. Try to stay alive between now and next. Why do I have no shirt on? Because I'm doing the laundry now, which is what jiu-jitsu gets you. Anyway, look what you made me do! No time, Blasey. No time.